This is why you need to conquer yourself first. Because true strength isn't in fighting battles out there, but in mastering what's within. The Stoics believed that suffering is inevitable, but it's not the suffering itself that distinguishes the strong from the weak. It's how we respond to it. Complaining is the crutch of a sick mind, they said, a fruitless expression that only adds to our misery. Plato once said, "To conquer oneself is the first and noblest of all victories." The Stoics lived by this rule. They waged the most crucial battle in life, the battle against their own limitations and vices. True conquest isn't about external achievements, but mastering oneself. Controlling your character, mastering desires and guiding thoughts with reason. Remember, self-control is strength, right thought is mastery, and calmness is power. Embrace these principles. Share this wisdom, teach it, and watch how it transforms your life and others. This is the power of Stoic wisdom. Conquer yourself first. Why aren't more people talking about the power of focus? It could be your gateway to inner peace. The Stoics believed focus is not just a skill, but a path to virtue and tranquility. Marcus Aurelius said, "Concentrate every minute like a Roman." Can you imagine how your life would change if you harnessed this power? Start today with mindfulness meditation. Focus on your breath and gently bring your mind back when it wanders. Make your mind a fortress. Embrace the Stoic secret and master your mind.
Do you feel like a ship tossed about on a stormy sea, your emotions dictating your every move? Or are you the captain of your ship, steering yourself with a steady hand through the choppy waters of life? The Stoics, those ancient philosophers of wisdom and resilience, believed that true peace comes not from external circumstances, but from our internal mastery. We all experience a range of emotions: joy, sorrow, anger, fear. They are part of what makes us human, but too often we allow these emotions to rule us, to dictate our actions and reactions. We become slaves to our impulses, tossed and turned by the whims of our feelings. The Stoics offer a different path. They teach us that we can be masters of our emotions, not slaves to them. Through self-awareness, discipline and practice, we can learn to weather the storms of life with grace and equanimity. We can find peace, not by changing the world around us, but by changing ourselves. This is not about suppressing or denying our emotions. It's about understanding them, accepting them, and choosing how we respond to them. It's about cultivating an inner strength that allows us to face any challenge with courage and clarity. The cornerstone of Stoic philosophy lies in a powerful principle. It's not external events that disturb our peace, but our judgments and reactions to them. Epictetus, the great Stoic teacher, famously said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." Think about it. Two people can experience the same event, yet have vastly different reactions. One person might be thrown into a spiral of anxiety and despair, while the other remains calm and composed. The difference lies not in the event itself, but in their perception of it, in their chosen response. The Stoics understood that we cannot control everything that happens to us in life. We will face challenges, setbacks, and unexpected events, but we can control our reactions. We can choose how we interpret these events and how we allow them to affect us. This is not to say that we should become emotionless robots, indifferent to the world around us. Emotions are a natural and important part of the human experience, but by recognizing that our power lies in our responses, we can free ourselves from the tyranny of being ruled by our emotions. We can learn to observe our emotions without judgment, to understand their triggers, and to choose responses that align with our values and goals. This is the path to emotional freedom, to inner peace that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. The first step on this journey is self-awareness. To master your emotions, you must first understand them. The Stoics were strong advocates for self-reflection, for taking the time to observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment. Start by paying attention to your emotional responses throughout the day. What triggers anger, frustration, or anxiety in you? What brings you joy, contentment, or peace? Don't judge your emotions as good or bad, right or wrong. Simply observe them with a curious and compassionate mind. As you become more aware of your emotional patterns, you might notice that certain situations or thoughts tend to trigger specific emotional responses. You might realize that you have a tendency to overreact in certain situations, or that you often fall into negative thought patterns. This self-awareness is key. It allows you to identify the triggers that set off your emotional storms. It helps you understand the underlying beliefs and patterns that shape your reactions, and it gives you the power to choose a different path. Remember, this is a journey, not a race. Be patient with yourself and celebrate your progress along the way. The more you practice self-observation, the more skilled you'll become at navigating the complex landscape of your emotions. One powerful Stoic technique for cultivating emotional resilience is premeditatio malorum, which translates to the premeditation of evils. This might sound a bit daunting, but it's actually a practice in mental preparedness. The idea is to spend time each day contemplating the challenges and setbacks that you might encounter. Imagine the worst-case scenarios in various aspects of your life. What could go wrong at work? What if a relationship ended? What if you faced a financial hardship? Now, this isn't about dwelling on negativity or expecting the worst to happen. It's about mentally preparing yourself for the reality that life is unpredictable. By considering potential obstacles in advance, you diminish their power to derail you when they inevitably arise. Premeditatio malorum allows you to develop a plan of action to consider how you would cope with difficult situations. It helps you build mental and emotional resilience, knowing that you have the inner resources to handle whatever life throws your way. This practice also helps you appreciate the good things in your life. When you contemplate the possibility of losing something, you gain a deeper appreciation for its presence in your life.
Life is a fleeting journey. Everything around us is in a constant state of flux. Seasons change, relationships evolve, and our own bodies age. Despite our best efforts to cling to what we hold dear, the truth is, nothing lasts forever. This realization, though often daunting, holds the key to a more meaningful and fulfilling life. We often try to ignore this fundamental truth. We distract ourselves with fleeting pleasures and chase after external validation. But deep down, we know that these pursuits are ultimately futile. They offer only temporary solace, unable to fill the void left by our fear of the unknown. To embrace impermanence is to accept the natural order of the universe. It is to acknowledge that loss and change are inevitable parts of life. This acceptance, though initially difficult, is the foundation for finding true peace and joy. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy originating in Greece, offers a powerful framework for navigating the uncertainties of life. Stoics believe that virtue is the sole good and that external circumstances are ultimately beyond our control. Instead of resisting the ebbs and flows of life, Stoicism encourages us to accept them with grace and resilience. At the heart of Stoicism lies the practice of focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, emotions, and actions, and accepting what we cannot. This doesn't mean becoming passive or indifferent. Rather, it's about channeling our energy wisely and finding tranquility amidst the storms. By acknowledging the impermanence of all things, Stoicism liberates us from the shackles of attachment and allows us to appreciate the beauty of each passing moment. It teaches us to find joy in the journey, knowing that every experience, whether pleasant or painful, is temporary. Memento mori, a Latin phrase meaning remember you must die, is a central practice in Stoicism. Far from being morbid, this reflection on our mortality serves as a powerful motivator to live a life of purpose and meaning. Contemplating our own mortality helps us prioritize what truly matters. It allows us to let go of petty grievances and appreciate the preciousness of time. By acknowledging the finite nature of our existence, we gain clarity on our values and are inspired to live each day to the fullest. This practice is not about dwelling on death, but rather about using the awareness of our mortality to fuel a more vibrant and meaningful life. It's about embracing each day as a gift and making choices that align with our deepest values. Detachment, another key principle in Stoicism, doesn't imply indifference or emotional detachment. It's about loosening the grip of attachment to external outcomes and finding contentment within ourselves. We often attach our happiness to external factors, possessions, status, or the opinions of others. However, these are ultimately transient and unreliable sources of fulfillment. Stoicism teaches us to find joy in the process, not the outcome, and to cultivate inner peace that is independent of external circumstances. Detachment doesn't mean we shouldn't strive for goals or enjoy life's pleasures. It simply means not placing our happiness solely on their attainment. By letting go of our need to control everything, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and open ourselves up to greater peace. The Stoics, those philosophers of ancient Greece and Rome, offer a timeless toolkit for navigating life's inevitable storms. They teach us that resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity, is not an innate trait, but a skill honed through practice and mindful living. This essay, inspired by Stoic wisdom, will explore how we can cultivate resilience by embracing challenges, accepting what we cannot control, and focusing on our own actions. The Stoics believed that within every obstacle lies an opportunity for growth. Challenges, they argued, are not hindrances to our progress, but rather the very means by which we develop strength and wisdom. Just as a sword is forged in fire, so too is our character tempered by adversity. By facing our fears and overcoming obstacles, we emerge stronger, more capable, and more resilient. Resilience, in the Stoic sense, is not about passively accepting whatever life throws our way. It is not about resigning ourselves to fate or becoming apathetic in the face of difficulty. True resilience, as Marcus Aurelius wrote, is about loving the hand that fate deals you and playing it as best you can. It is about recognizing that challenges are an inherent part of life, and that by facing them head-on, we can not only overcome them, but also learn and grow from them. When we encounter setbacks, it is easy to fall into the trap of self-pity or despair. We may be tempted to give up, to believe that we are powerless to change our circumstances. However, the Stoics urge us to resist this temptation. They remind us that we always have a choice in how we respond to adversity. We can choose to let it defeat us, or we can choose to use it as fuel for growth. A cornerstone of Stoic philosophy is the importance of acceptance. This does not mean giving up or resigning ourselves to negative situations. Instead, it means acknowledging reality as it is, without denial or wishful thinking. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic, famously said, "There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will." This radical acceptance of what we cannot control allows us to focus our energy and attention on what we can influence, our own thoughts, emotions, and actions. When we resist reality, we create unnecessary suffering. We fight against the current, expending energy and creating turmoil within ourselves. Acceptance, on the other hand, allows us to find a sense of peace amidst chaos. By acknowledging what is beyond our control, we free ourselves from the burden of trying to change the unchangeable. This acceptance is not passive, it is a powerful act of courage that allows us to direct our energy towards what truly matters.